Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I'm Sunny Pancholi, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another and future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by these industry leaders. We also hope that by conducting these FaceTime with Leaders interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that are proven success formulas for many. And this is what we aim for with these sessions, by making them a gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge-sharing community. We have one such multi-sectoral giant on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Commander Pravin S. Dixit, a Navy veteran and a distinguished M.Tech graduate from IIT Kanpur. He epitomizes this rare fusion with an illustrious career spanning 37 years. He seamlessly transitioned from a commendable 21 years service in the Indian Navy to a thriving 16 years tenure in the corporate sector. His leadership prowess, which he owes to his sense of camaraderie, a legacy of his military service, further honed across sectors such as nuclear, defense, power, and water, has been a catalyst for transformative growth and operational excellence. In his current role as the whole-time director at Meil, ICOMM Tele Limited, Hyderabad, as well as the vice president and business head overseeing the power vertical at Meil, Mr. Dixit has played a crucial role in guiding operational strategy, resolving labor issues, and ensuring compliance with NCLT regulations. His contributions have been instrumental in achieving a significant turnover of approximately rupees 450 crores for the NCLT company ICOMM Tele in 3 years as the whole-time director, and growth of Mail's new power sector as VP business head from zero to rupees 5,000 crores turnover in 13 years, with very strong credentials in the power sector and showcasing a consistent track record of business growth and profitability. Welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, Mr. Dixit.
Thank you, sir.
So to begin with, you have spent 21 years in the Indian Navy services and then transitioned to the corporate sector. So how has this transition been for you?
The transition from the Indian Naval Service to the corporate sector has several challenges and notable adjustments, course corrections, and learnings. To start with, I just want to go with the small old proverb: old habits die hard. Once a submariner, always a submariner. These are some of the proverbs what we use in the Indian Navy. To start with, there are a lot of qualities which we imbibe during the 21 years career. Some of them I would like to mention here. That is punctuality, discipline, organizing ability, time management, planning to the minutest detail, concerns for the team, motivation, coaching, mentoring, stress management or working under stress, presentation skills, leading by an example, making difficult things simple, loyalty, integrity, perfection, obeying orders, boss is always right, then credit to the team members and to take the blame yourself. These are some of the things what generally we go through. Last but not the least is the fitness, which generally we give a lot of importance to that, health, where we spend at least 1.5 hours to keep yourself fit. And then in this, we have a pyramid structure where is a hierarchy. So that is what generally we follow in the last 21 years. With these qualities, entering into the corporate world was challenging, and a lot of learnings were there. We could implement or we could adjust to the corporate culture in the shortest time, because we have been getting transfers every 3 years, new segments, new sectors, or new works. So here also it become easy for us to adapt to the corporate culture in the shortest time, and to understand the human behavior, because the teams and the sizes cultures, background, everything used to be different, but we could adapt to that. We are flexible, and it went through very smooth actually. So I could say overall it has been a smooth transition. Yes, there were some learnings which I have learned also. For example, like say instead of authoritative, I had to be collaborative or participative, and not to be fixed to some ideas. I should be flexible in the ideas, accepting the certain suggestions. So all those things are the learnings which we do the course correction from time to time. So overall, it has been a fruitful and a satisfying journey for me.
Mr. Dixit, thank you for the excellent start to this interview. And I must say, your career journey is truly inspiring.
Thank you, sir.
So continuing our conversation, our viewers would like to know, which of your military qualities proved to be the most useful in the second phase of your career journey?
The qualities which had proved very useful for me, the first one was the leadership, because that is the one which the present company, that is MEIL, where they actually they got me here, and they asked me to start the new sector, power sector, about 14 years back, and they had a confidence on the leadership what I had imbibed in those times, and I started the new sector, power sector. So leadership is the first thing with which I started the power sector in Mega. Then comes the discipline, work ethics, punctuality, planning and monitoring, organizing ability, because I was able to organize the team members, organize the department, the time management, man management, interpersonal relations and communication, then resource allocation and optimum utilization of resources, leading by an example, crisis management, problem solving, compliances and regulations, because we have been brought up in the defense atmosphere where we follow strictly the books or the rules, regulations, and we try to see that these are also getting implemented. Communication, oral or written, which is used for the contracts and for the claim management, integrity and honesty, multitasking, and motivation, of course. So these are some of the qualities which were useful for me in my second phase of career.
Amazing. So building on to that, our viewers would like to know, in your role at Mega Engineering Infrastructure Limited, you achieved remarkable growth in the power sector. So can you elaborate on the strategies you employed to achieve such steep success?
The growth or the starting a new sector was one of the challenges which that opportunity was given to me, and I started the power sector 13 or 14 years back. And at that time, it was just with the one secretary and myself, we started the sector. So our initial job was to have the team. So immediately we had a strategy. First strategy was to get the graduate engineers, technical graduate engineers, fresh graduates, whom we can train and mold the way we want. Since this is a new sector, it was one of the strategies that we want to utilize is to get the new graduates who are having a lot of energy and synergy, and whom we can mold and whom we can groom them. So with that, I started with the marketing and the business development team, who started doing the market analysis, then who used to identify the opportunities, and there we used to understand the requirements, where we can participate in the tenders. So then comes the JV requirements, because to meet the qualifications, you require joint venture partners, collaboration. So all these things were identified, and we started participating in the tenders. And we used to have a targets every year, how much should be the order booking and what we have achieved. So we used to have the qualitative reviews on that. And then course correction used to be done every time. Initially, the strategy we had applied was to do the tendering or submit the bids as much as possible, whatever is available in the market. But then the hit rate was very less. Then after that, we changed our strategy to the selected tenders or selected verticals where we started bidding and all that. Then there was the entry barrier by the established players. So there also we had a lot of challenges where we had to overcome those things by taking some of the orders, initial orders, in a cost-to-cost basis or little less than that, so that we can have the qualifications and experience which can be utilized by me for the next tenders and all that. The order what we had received was to execute the things in the shortest time to gain the confidence of the customer and the utilities. So that was the next challenge which we did, and we executed the projects in a very professional way by utilizing various techniques, planning tools, which really got the appreciation from the clients. In fact, one of the project went into the Limca Book of Records for the power grid, which was completed in, say, 8 months against the 18 months timelines. So that was very much appreciated. Like that, so project execution became one of the strongest point for the MEIL, which we are getting the repeat orders from the clients. Then we had a strategy of project mix, that is to have the EPC and the IPP or the TBCB projects. The TBCB is the tariff-based competitive bidding, and EPC is the engineering, procurement, and construction, where we had the strategy so that we can build the pipeline for the company in the long run. So in the TBCB project, we used to invest the funds, construct the project, and then we used to maintain for 35 years. That is to give us the tariff-based bidding. So that was the mixture which we did that so that we can keep getting the revenue for the company for the 35 years. Then we had a strategy of entering into the transmission, distribution, and generation. And then we entered into the renewables. That time the solar thermal, we are, I think, second company in India who did the solar thermal 50 megawatt on the build, own, operate basis. Then solar photovoltaic we did for one of the clients from Mahagenco. And then the solar canal top was the first project in India which was completed, and which was solar panels were put on the canal in Baroda. Then we had the opportunity, that is to convert the opportunity to order, was the next step which is to follow. The time and cost control mechanism was set in so that we can control the time and cost by using some techniques like theory of constraints or some of the review mechanism which we inculcated in-house, so that quickly we can do the reviews and attend to the critical issues and all that. Analysis of SWOT, that is the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. So that we used to do time to time, and then do the corrections, improve the weaknesses, do the competitor analysis. Then more focus was on the cash collection. Now also more focus on the cash collection, because that is what we need for the working capital or for the cash flows, which everybody, right from the top to bottom, everybody is focused on the cash collection. Then having the optimum and the lean team, and utilizing the resources in the matrix, so that it is not only for the particular things, we are utilizing for the various activities, multitasking, and internal auditing also has been set up, which will give the corrections and avoid the pilferages. Procurement, negotiation skills was the next area where we can have the bottom lines. So these are the strategies which has made us possible to have the growth. And every year we were growing year by year with a CAGR of more than 20-25%. So that was the growth what we have achieved in the last 13 years.
Absolutely incredible. So working for Mega Engineering Infrastructure Limited, how and when did you get exposure to ESG, and what piqued your interest in corporate governance?
Actually, the ESG, the concept has come only in the 2004, and in India it came to 2012. And that time it was only applicable for some 100 BRR companies and all that. And now it has gaining the momentum where the ESG is becoming very popular. It is mandatory for the companies. But at that time, earlier when we were doing some of the things, those things, for example, there are 3 examples I would like to give. In 2011, we acquired one power plant, 1 into 525 megawatt, where we were constructing that for the on a BOO basis, build, own, operate. And we were the builders for that. And at that time, we had to construct this power plant. We constructed the power plant. Then after there was a government regulations where the exhaust gases has to be treated for SOx, that is SO2, the sulfur dioxide, so that the gases are within the permissible limits. So this sulfur dioxide has to be within the 600 mg per Newton per cubic meter, which are less than 500 megawatt power plant, and 200 mg per Newton cubic meter for more than 500 megawatt power plant. So there we have to utilize the flue gas desulfurization by using various technology, wet lime, seawater, or semi-dry, so that the sulfur dioxide is within the permissible limits, so it doesn't pollute the environment. So this is one of the examples which, when I look back, this is what is one of the ESG which I was exposed at that time when I was doing this. 2018, we acquired the ICOMM company, and it came through NCLT, and I was the whole-time director. So there we had a galvanizing facility, one away from the residential area, one was next to the residential area. There again, there's the requirement of Pollution Control Board to have the PCB certificate every year, which was mandatory for us. So for one plant, we got the PCB, that is Pollution Control Board certificate, which was away from residential area. But the other one we could not get because it had to be treated and it was not safe for the residential area. So there again, this is one of the area where we understand the importance of the pollution polluting the environment, and to treat them properly so that it doesn't harm the residential areas. One more example is we did one boot project. One is the build, own, operate, and transfer. What is the high voltage transmission lines and substations in the state of Uttar Pradesh, where we had constructed 900 km lines and some 7 substations. So one of the substations, that is GIS, that is gas insulated switchgear substation, was next to the residential areas. So there again, there was some objection raised with regards to the electromagnetic radiation. Now this again, this was in the green belt area, and when it came to the NGT, that is the National Grid Tribunal, and it was deliberated, and then it was observed that it had no such significance, and then we were given permission since it was necessary and it was required for the sustainable development. So these 3 examples, and actually when I look back, actually have got exposed to the ESG. This is what was my understanding of ESG. With respect to the interest in the corporate governance, here again, when I'm coming from the defense background, and where I have been utilizing the corporate, you can say, regulations, compliances, and where I have been born and brought up with that environment, it becomes easy for me in the corporate also, when I'm doing these jobs, to comply to all the standards, carry out ethical business, maintenance of logbooks on the sites, labor laws, no child labor, wages, transparency, accountability, risk analysis, and mitigation. So these all things on my way had picked me or interest in the corporate governance, because it became a part of my job which I'm doing now.
As an ESG and corporate governance expert, what values do you bring to the table?
I would like to bring to the table as an ESG and a corporate governance expert. First is the integrity and ethics, sustainability and environment consciousness, social responsibility, innovation and adaptability. I would like to follow green energy, strive for solar, hydro, wind, and bio, risk management, and continuous learnings and improvements.
So let's dive into the subject of technology. So here is my question to you, which is divided into 2 parts. Part A is, what are some of the most remarkable changes you have seen in your field with changes in technology? And what changes do you expect to see with the advent of IoT, AI, ML, blockchain, big data, Web 3.0, etc.?
The remarkable changes, what I've seen in the field of power sector, the changes in technology, over the period, there has been a shift from the AIS to GIS. AIS is air insulated switchgear system, and GIS is gas insulated switchgear system, because of the urbanization or because of the space constraints. Now it is again, it was initially with the lower voltages, but now it has gone to the 750 kV also, where the 750 kV GIS substations are coming up. So this has been a technological change in last so many years. The second most important thing is the introduction of the underground cables, power cables, which are again, they are called underground XLP cables, which are of various ratings from 11 kV to 400 kVs, which are again because of the urbanization, because of the space constraints, and because of the various things which has come up. So underground cables becomes easy to transmit power from one place to another power. Next thing is the HVDC, that is a high voltage direct current. This is the new technology which is catching up to transmit power for long distances without any losses, so that it can be tapped and utilized. This is again coming up with the STATCOM or with the 500 and 800 kV, and it is catching up. It is coming in a very big way. In the next 3-4 years, it is going to be one of the big things in India and globally also. Then SCADA, that is SCADA system, is for the automation, that is substation automation. That is a new thing. Initially, the automation was not there, but now there is automation and the grid automation is going on. Monopoles is the one thing which has started recently instead of conventional towers because of the space constraint, and monopoles from 110 to 400 kV monopoles are there. Renewables, in renewables there has been a changes like floating solar has come. Then there is something known as rooftop solar, canal top. Now wind turbine in offshore, that is a new thing which is starting now, because the wind force is very high in the offshore areas, and the wind turbine and the offshore areas where the space is not a problem or land is not a problem. So they are installed, they're getting installed with the subsea cables so that we can tap this energy. Cloud-based metering system. Now smart meters is again catching up. There's about the government has given a grant for about 23 crores smart meters in for various states, and that is for all the states. It is coming up. They have to be replaced with the digital meters, which will again is one of the latest technology being used here. Then PSHP, that is the power, that is the hydro, that is a hydel-based pump storage hydel project to store the energy for 6 to 8 hours. This again, the states are coming up with the artificially creating reservoirs, upper and lower reservoir with the reverse turbine to store the energy. Battery energy storage system, BESS, that is again is coming up, is already there in Jaipur, where the solar energy is stored in the battery for 1.5 years, and then it is sold to the various utilities and all that. Hybrid solutions, that is solar with the BESS. Electric buses or electric vehicles, hydrogen vehicles, including tippers. These are some of the remarkable changes which I have seen in our sector in technology in last 13 years. Now, with the advent of the new technology, that is IoT, artificial intelligence, blockchain, big data, Web 3.0, and machine learning, in power sector, it is used like say grid optimization. The IoT sensors will enhance monitoring, enable better grid management, and predictive maintenance. Artificial intelligence will optimize energy distribution, reducing wastage, and increase efficiency. Smart meters and energy management, it uses IoT devices, which will enable implementation of smart meters, providing real-time data for consumers. Artificial intelligence-driven analytics will offer personalized energy saving suggestions. Renewable energy integration, AI and big data, it will optimize the integration of renewable energy sources into the grid, managing fluctuations and maximizing their utilization. Blockchain in energy trading or technology could facilitate decentralized energy trading among consumers and producers, creating more efficient and transparent energy markets. Cybersecurity enhancement. With IoT adoption, cybersecurity becomes critical. Blockchain's decentralized nature, it can offer enhanced security for data transactions. Predictive maintenance, machine learning algorithms will enable predictive maintenance of power infrastructure, reducing downtime and enhanced reliability. Web 3.0 and decentralization. These principles support decentralized energy grids, allow peer-to-peer energy sharing, and more democratized access to power resources. So these are the things which I feel will have a effect on the power sector with the usage of all these digital parameters or technology which is coming up.
Mr. Dixit, we have discussed your career journey, your roles and responsibilities, your take on ESG and corporate governance and technology. So this brings us to the last question of the session, and here it is. We are building a community of industry magnates. The move is meant for cross-pollination of knowledge and building a knowledge-sharing community of corporate giants and industry experts. So what are your takes on these initiatives taken by Mr. Zishan Pathan, Mr. Heval Mehta, and the whole team of World Development Corporation?
The initiatives taken by Mr. Zishan Pathan, Mr. Heval Mehta, and by the World Development Corporation team, it is really very commendable, and I really appreciate that such information or such industry magnates or such experts from the industries who can be called or who can share their experiences, skills, and their diverse background, so that it can be useful for solving the problems. It will be a good learning. It will be a right at first time for many of the young entrepreneurs or young engineers without redoing the same thing. Will give the innovations and new ideas for R&D. It will widen the knowledge base. It will address global challenges. It can have a different perspectives. Will help in networking, joint venture formation, collaboration. These things also will help in new business ideas and the solutions. It will be useful for mentorship and new opportunities. I feel such initiatives really will help us, and will be good not only for us, for the society, and as a country as a whole.
Great. It was fantastic conversing with you, and I'm confident that your insights will inspire future leaders. Thank you, Commander Dixit, for joining us today. Wish you the best for your future endeavors. Moreover, trust that this initiative by Directors Institute has unquestionably expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their minds.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.